More legal bills happened. Yay, transactions.
Who doesn't love transactions? Uh, I'm Win.
And I'm Wicked. Hi. This is our transactions from last week, which was November 3rd to the 9th. I am. We were good. We were good. Like, we behaved ourselves this week. We didn't have any, like, crazy spending. However, them legal bills are back. So
It's not what we like.
yeah, it's really not. And now we get right back into it. So, starting on the 3rd, we brought in Wynn's October 29th paycheck for $13.48, and then my October 9th paycheck for $15.91. And then Wynn got his miscellaneous for $50 and adventure money for $20.
And didn't go crazy with it.
That's great. And then I paid YouTube Premium Family for $26 and Fabulous for $2. On the 4th, I brought in $38.30 from my emergency fund just because it was two times that I spent my emergency fund and I didn't want to write emergency fund money twice. So $38.30 total from that category. $23.81 of that was to pay for Wynn's lawyer. Yep. And then on the 5th, the electric bill finally came out. That was $194. That is for 2 electric bills, actually. That's our electric bill and the basement's. Now, the basement's electric bill is really small, so I'm hoping that that means that they switched over to their names so that we won't have a second electric bill next month. I'm really hoping for that. And then snacky snacks for $6. And if you notice, it's the only snacky snacks for the week.
What's up?
And then I stuffed $460 in my variable categories. And then on the 6th, the Citibank loan interest hit for $57. So I thought about it, and the way that YNAB works, and yes, we use YNAB for our monthly budgets, and it's a budgeting software, and the way they do it is any transactions need to be covered. Like, the idea is they need to be covered immediately. So interest charges, that's immediate. And that was $57. Now, the minimum payment isn't due yet. The minimum payment isn't due, but because that charge was there and I didn't want to have overspending just sitting there staring at me in YNAB, I just covered the $57, and then when the minimum payment comes, like, it'll be the rest of the money, if that makes sense. So, like, when you make for a lot of cards, if you make additional payments, it just lowers the minimum payment later, so you end up still paying the minimum payment. It's just kind of split up now. So that's what we're doing, just to make things match in YNAB versus on paper. And then on the 7th, house maintenance was brought into the budget for $138. $45 of that went towards our utility debt. If you haven't been around, turns out our utility bill has been coming in someone else's name, and we didn't realize that that's what was happening. And I've never owned a house in Chicago, in Illinois, where we live now. I owned a house in Minnesota, and in Minnesota, the utility bills, like the water and the garbage, those weren't every month. So I didn't know, like, how long it would be until we got our first utility bill. But apparently we have been, and it's every 2 months here in Chicago. It's every 2 months that you get a utility bill.
And they have been charging.
Yes, they have been charging, but it was in someone else's name. So now it's in our name. Well, in Wynn's name.
We did work out the glitch, and we worked out that we are not immediately about to owe late charges or any late fees because they saw that the mistake was on their end.
Yes, but we are on a payment plan now, and the utility bill is every 2 months, but the payment plan is every month. So it's $45 a month on top of the ongoing bills. So, and I will, the utility bill will be coming out of my pay, even though it's in Wynn's name. It's going to be coming out of my pay at least until next school year. And then we will reassess based on what Wynn is bringing in.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then $93 was spent on window supplies because one of our windows was broken. Wynn knows how to replace windows. So
to be clear, this it's an older building, and this is the window above the back door. So it's not like a modern window. It's an old school Chicago window. And I grew up in an old school Chicago apartment building.
Yes. So he's replacing the window.
Yeah.
Long story short, he's replacing the window. He replaced the window. So that was $93 of supplies and tools for that. And then on the 8th, we have
a ride share.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember what that was for.
I think you actually got it on the...
It was earlier in the week.
Yeah, it's normally 2 days later that it shows up on the statement.
Yeah. What was happening?
I think you were just late for work.
I guess.
No. This ride share was when you were you had gone out and the train wasn't running.
Yeah.
The train wasn't running.
That was frustrating.
Yes.
So I have been managing to improve my sleep hygiene to the point where I am not getting up late and being forced to resort to ride shares just to get through the morning. But chaos is chaos, and if I am not going out early enough and being stuck out late, these things become possible. So,
yes.
This is still avoidable, but I'm doing better.
Yes, but you know how much excess you had for the month, Wynn?
How much?
$23.
Wait.
So the next...
I owe $6?
No, you don't owe $6. You don't owe $6. But you don't have much excess. So you might come up short in something. Hopefully the next gas bill isn't going to be high. Hopefully.
Okay.
Because
also I stopped going crazy with my miscellaneous spending.
Yes.
Which doesn't get extra points. It just is good that's improving.
Yes. I'm really hopeful that now that we're using the furnace, the gas bill doesn't skyrocket, and then you don't have enough money.
So it's going to skyrocket. I'm going to start weatherproofing these windows further. To save us some money.
Okay. But all that to be said, onward. It is currently getting a little late.
Yes.
So onward. On the 9th, this one is $1,449 for the kids lawyer, because these legal bills are for family court. And Currently, the way this is working is each parent has a lawyer and then the kids have a lawyer. And
Guardian ad litem.
yes, called a guardian ad litem. And so the parents, Wynn and the kid's mom, are splitting the cost of the kid's lawyer, and then each adult is paying for their own lawyer. So yay. We still got a few more legal bills to go, and I'm not excited. But it will hopefully work out in the end, and things will be far more settled. But on the bright side, I saved $15 for Christmas, $28 for registration and license, $88 for the phone bill, and $169 for insurance.
Not bad.
Yep. So onward to the variable spending. So for variables, sorry, Earnings Hemingway here, a little in the way.
Yeah.
Okay. So for variables here, groceries, we actually didn't go grocery shopping early enough in the week for the transaction to show up on this week's spending. So, groceries started with $161, added $100, so there's $261. For bulk buys, started with $87, added $50, spent $37, so there's $100. We actually went bulk shopping again, but the transaction didn't clear as of Sunday. So, yay, $100 left. Transportation started with $39, added $60, spent $55, so there's $44 left. Health started with 0, added 100, so there's 100. Hopefully we won't have any more big health bills, but Wynn and the kid's mom have co-parenting therapy now every other week, and we don't know yet how much that's going to cost. We don't know how much insurance is going to cover, if it's going to cover anything.
I did find out that my secondary insurance can kick in for part of this.
Well, that's great.
So the boys can be covered by 2 different insurances simultaneously.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I was talking about co-parenting therapy.
Right, but I'll take what I can get in the realm of therapy and,
okay.
and new costs.
Yes. But you pay for the kids' therapy. I pay for your therapy.
Okay. Thank you.
And then home shopping. Started with $19, added $45, spent $16. We had to get more couch protectors because our cat loves sharpening his claws on the couch. So we had to get more couch protectors, and also we had to replace the soap dispenser in the kitchen because chaos happened. So yeah, that was $16 for there's 2 different items.
It's me. I'm chaos.
I was trying not to throw you under the bus. I love you.
We don't put our head in the sand.
Okay. Head's not in the sand. Just
no, thank you.
I
appreciate it.
Trying to be a little kind. I love you. So there's $48 left in home shopping. Birthdays started with 53, added 5, so there's 58. Clothing started with 129, added 30, so there's 159. Shoes stayed at 279. Pet care started with 30, added 20, so there's 50. Personal started with 8, added 50, spent 51. This was probably like 5 different transactions or 6 different transactions. I don't remember exactly what I spent. Yes, so there's $7 left. And then Elphaba, which is me saving to match the kids' savings account contributions, which they have not been doing. So that stays at $400. And let us see what that means for the budget. So week 1 of this paycheck budget is complete. His paycheck for inflow, his paycheck is the budgeted $13.48. My paycheck was the budgeted $15.91 because now we are budgeting after we both get paid. We're not anticipating money This is money we actually have in the bank account already. Other income, we haven't brought anything in yet. Nothing yet into the budget. Next week there will be more. It'll actually be more than this because we have the rent for the 2 units that will be coming into the budget in time to pay the mortgage. And then from savings, $3,968, which is way more than budgeted, and that is because legal bills. And then rollover was the $761 that we budgeted because we waited to budget until after we knew how much there would be. So that is a total of $7,668 for inflow. Now we go down to when spending, which is his checking account.
All right. So for this first week, so far we've got the electric bill for $194, $1 less than budgeted. Adventures is $20 as budgeted. Miscellaneous $79 as opposed to the $50 that was budgeted. That's because of the ride share.
Yep.
Okay. And then rollover is 1,816 over the 658 that was budgeted.
Mind you, these things have not been paid yet.
Yes. And that's, mortgage still needs to be paid, internet, S&M collections. There's a lot going on. But we'll get there. Subtotal remaining was 2,109 as opposed to the 5,059 budgeted. And what remains is 5,559, which is not bad. But again, we've only just gotten started.
Correct. So onward to her spending, which is my checking account. Dining out, $6 out of the 30 budgeted, which is fantastic. I really, really, really want to not exceed this. YouTube, Premium Family, 26 as budgeted, Fabulous 2 as budgeted. And then haven't paid Capital One yet, but City Loan was 57, and that wasn't budgeted, but that's just because this was the interest charge. I'm wondering if I should start budgeting the interest charge or just split the minimum payments into 2. So instead of having this Capital One minimum payment, instead of having it as 105 once a month, maybe splitting it into 2 payments, so that I'll pay it every paycheck, and that'll cover the interest, and the minimum payment will still be paid. Let me know what you think. I might do that. And then nothing to extra debt yet. Variable envelopes was $460 as opposed to the $610 budgeted, but we still have groceries and bulk shopping for next week. And then rollover to make it through the next week is $740, and that is a subtotal of $1,291 for my spending, leaving us with $4,268. Then we go to her saving, which is my savings account. For Christmas, I saved $15 so far. This is not a problem because this is always just a random number because I pull cards for Card Challenge for that. And then insurance, $169 instead of the $168 budgeted, really just because I didn't want to just put $1 towards subscriptions. I'd rather just put that extra dollar in insurance. It's fine. And insurance is more important than subscriptions anyway. And then phone got $88 as budgeted. Registration and license got $28 as budgeted. And that was saving a total of $300, leaving us with $3,968, which is how much money came from savings. So my emergency fund, $38.30, which was Wynn's lawyer and the kids' lawyer. And then for house maintenance, it was $138. So that is a total of $39.68, which was all that was left. So this is a zero-based budget.
We have said it before, and we are always willing to clarify. Zero-based budget does not mean we spend all the way down to zero. That is not how we work. There are some people who spend that way because that is what makes sense for them. That's what is sustainable for them. We don't work that way. All this means is that every dollar coming in had a job, it had somewhere to go. There's no, oh, what do we do with all this leftover money? No, we decided in advance what things we were going to save up for, what things we were going to pay down, and what things needed to be handled immediately. And this is what it looks like.
Yep. And as we've said before, this budget is for a couple, really a family of five. Even though Win shares custody of his kids with their mom, with his ex, but because of our current situation, that means we don't share bank accounts, but we do share a budget. This is one of many ways you could handle having a shared budget without sharing bank accounts, and it works for us.
Just piggybacking off of that, it's not about budgeting any one specific way. It's about budgeting in a way that makes sense for you, and where everything is accounted for one way or the other, because that's how budget beats broke every time.
And we just don't want you to think that just because you don't want to share bank accounts, that means you can't budget together. You absolutely can. You can be a team without sharing absolutely everything. And never forget that you deserve financial stability. And I hope you have a great day on purpose. Bye.